Gone are the days of gaming on the go being far less powerful than the games you'd play at home. You no longer have to sacrifice power and good games for playing on your Game Boy Advance, or even mobile phone. With the Switch and now the Steam Deck, you can play games that are just as powerful as the ones you play at home and without any real exceptions or hindrances. Today, we are going to find out how good current NASCAR games are on the Steam Deck. I got one of these and I figured, why not show you guys what NASCAR gaming is like on one of these? So today, we are just going to be going over the modern NASCAR games, aka NASCAR 15, NASCAR Heat 5, and NASCAR 21 Ignition. I don't feel like NASCAR Heat Evolution or NASCAR Heat 2, 3, and 4 are necessary to play today, just because these seem to be the best games in their respective series, if that makes sense. These are the three heavy hitters, whether they're good or not, that the ones you'll probably be playing if you do play Steam games on a Steam Deck. We will go over emulated games at another time. Today, we are just going to take a look at the games you can buy on Steam that are NASCAR and you can play on the Steam Deck. So let's jump right into it with NASCAR 15. So this is NASCAR 15 Victory Edition on the PC or Steam. Please ignore my baby trying to get into the camera there. I don't think she gets in it too bad, but you can see her paw and her whiskers for a little bit. Anyway, we just are jumping right into a race at Daytona, and all of these videos we're going to be taking a look at Daytona, Bristol, and Watkins Glen. Now, please ignore some glare and stuff. It's not the easiest to record with your phone and a camera overhead, so please understand that it's going to look a little bit better than this just because of how bright and everything it is. I tried my best to accompany that. But overall, if you jump into a race, there's no hindrances. There's very, very small, I don't even know how to explain it, very small glitches that you might see from time to time, but they were very few and far between. The game looked just fine and handled just fine. This is a game that Steam has given the green light that it runs perfect with Steam, I guess, as they say. It's made to run Steam Deck. So you shouldn't have any real issues with it. As you can see, we're in a giant pack and causing a big one right there, and the game isn't even slowing down. There's no real frame hiccups. The game ran smooth and buttery and just fine. I was able to do everything I could do if I was playing on a controller or on a wheel, I guess, on my PC. And now we're at Bristol, and you can see, it looks good. There's no real slowdowns. The only real complaint I have is just a little bulky with one of these things to go left and right. Sometimes it feels like the stick is a little, doesn't want to go far enough, if that makes sense. Like the stick is going far enough, but it feels like the game isn't as forgiving with turning your stick all the way to the left. But overall, I think with some getting used to, you would be just fine playing this. As we're gonna go ahead and just take everybody out. I left it on easy mode by mistake for this race right here, so I'm just kind of flying through the field. But this track, with as many cars as you have on it and all the people and the flash bulbs and everything, should be a very demanding track. I know it's not very large, but there's no issues at all with Bristol as we're just kind of flying through the pack here. I haven't played this game in a long time, so I kind of forgot what it's like to even play, but it actually felt very, very good, and it's something that I think I'll actually play going forward. So now we're going to move on to Watkins Glen, and this is the one I guess I would be more concerned with slowdown, considering how big it is, but it seemed to run just fine as well, as we caused a big incident there into turn one. This is really where the controls tested me. It feels like I definitely needed to practice some more, if that makes sense, considering it's a road course. You're going to be going left and right and you're going to be using all the buttons a lot, if that makes sense. So it was okay. It's just one of these things where it's going to take getting used to get comfortable playing this game. But it ran fine, looked good. It's just NASCAR 15. I really don't think there's anything that you're sacrificing to play this game on the Steam Deck rather than your PC, aside from maybe top tier graphics and better controls. So overall, if you have a Steam Deck, NASCAR 15, solid. I would recommend owning it if you're a NASCAR fan, because it's pretty much unhindered NASCAR 15.
Refuse to lose.
All right, NASCAR Heat 5. This seems to be everyone's favorite game recently. For me, I enjoy NASCAR Heat 5. It's just kind of been the same game, though, for NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 and then NASCAR Rivals. So I'm just kind of tired of the gameplay. As you can see me wiping off the Steam Deck because some cat hair got on it. But we're going to jump right into Daytona. This is also another Steam game that has been given the green circle, which means it's been made for Steam Deck, and it runs perfectly almost on it. I did see a few minor glitches where the back tires were red on some cars when I don't think they should have been, like Matt Kenseth, and you can see Cole Custer there. At first I thought that was normal for the 41, or I guess whoever's in the 41 in this game. But I saw it on like Matt Kenseth's 42 car, so I think that's just a glitch, but I don't know if that is a game-wide glitch or a glitch with the Steam Deck. Regardless, this game once again played perfectly. I did not have to mess with any graphic settings. It looks amazing and ran almost flawlessly. Like, I didn't really notice any frame stutters or anything. It runs really good. So now we're with Timmy Hill here. I love Timmy. We're just doing a race at Daytona. You can see it's handling it really well. They are 3x3 up there, and we're getting a push from the 41. As always, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. But I haven't played this game either in a hot second, so I'd kind of had to remember what was going on. As we're just playing with the 2020, I think, rosters, as it seems to be less glitchy for sure. But we're gonna go ahead and start pushing the 36 ahead of us. As you can see, it runs smooth. It looks good. I don't feel like it's hindered once again with the Steam Deck at all. It's got 43 cars all in view at a nice big track like Daytona. As you can see, the 48's getting a little out of shape. There goes the 36. We're gonna send him for a ride, and as you can see, causing wrecks and stuff. Like, it's still just fine. It didn't really seem to affect the performance is a hard word. Performance at all. All right, now we're going to switch to Bristol here, as we've got the night race. Once again, just should be a very demanding track with all the people, the lights, the cars, the reflections, but this game seems to handle it just fine. The controls also on this are just a little wonky. As you can see now, the one car has like a left front red and a right rear red. Like I said, I don't know if that's a game issue or the Steam Deck issue, but it's something I can live with. It's not really a problem. The thing with these games are they're just like a little touched up NASCAR Heat 4. And I remember this game having a lot of issues like that, like with red wheels and just basic bugs, because it was a different company. It was Monster, or not. Yeah, that's right. Motorsport Games, not Monster, making this game. So, but overall, there's not too much to say. I'm just gonna let you watch this and see for yourself. It looks fine. It plays fine. It's just getting used to driving with the Steam Deck. If you're gonna want to play outside, the OLED is gonna be what's best for you. This is just an LCD because it's got that anti-glare screen. I had to upgrade my Steam Deck's memory. I got the cheap kind, so only the 64 gigs. So I had to go get an SD card. This is a very adequate way to play this game. All right, now we're going to jump into the 2022 update in the next-gen car. You know I had to use Landon. We're not going to talk about the sponsor on the back of it, but we're at our Watkins Glen now, and honestly, this felt really good to play and to drive here. I know there's a lot of issues with the next-gen stuff on this game. It's not perfect, especially like Atlanta, but we're not playing there for this video. But overall, this felt really, really nice. I felt like I could really get the car turned and braking good for the corners. It felt a lot better than the last time I feel like I played this game. It really makes me feel like I'm going to play this game on the go more often. I don't really know what I would prefer between this and NASCAR 15. They each have their pluses and minuses. This is really a test of the Steam Deck too, because, you know, Watkins Glen, bigger track, lots of things going on, big area for this track to be at, but it played fine and smooth, and I don't know, I feel like I was able to get a lot out of the cars. We overcooked that into the wall and we got some damage, but we're totally fine. Yeah, NASCAR Heat 5 plays really, really good with the Steam Deck. One that you should probably get if you have a Steam Deck and you want to play NASCAR. Yeah, I honestly have no issues with this version of it on the Steam Deck at all. So yeah, 10 out of 10. I mean, not really, but I mean, very solid. If you have a Steam Deck and are a NASCAR fan, this is something you need to have to pass the time. So this is the last game we're going to look at today, NASCAR 21 Ignition. Now, it's overall not a good NASCAR game at all. You know, it's already got its problems, even on one of the best computers you could ever buy. But on the Steam Deck, I was really concerned, especially because it said it was not set up for the Steam Deck, which means there is nothing that's been done to it to make it work better on the Steam Deck. So I went ahead and put the graphic settings to medium because I know this game looks really, really good and it's a little demanding. So I went ahead and put it down to medium and went ahead and went from there. I don't have high expectations for this game going in, but we're going to see. We're going to go to Daytona. We're going to put it on middle difficulty with some of the assists on. This game can handle okay with some of the assists on. It's actually not terrible, but it's just everything else that makes this game bad.
Alex Hayden here, welcoming you to the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. This historic 2.5-mile super speedway showcases some of the fastest and most intense action in all of racing. And the weather is looking absolutely beautiful here today in Daytona Beach, Florida.
So, NASCAR 21 Ignition. You all probably recognize this and everything, so here we go. Daytona, just a basic race with the older style cars. And let's get into it. Off the bat, honestly, I was surprised. Now, sure, it's on medium graphical, but it still looks okay. It's a little blurry in places, especially in the details, but overall, it looks fine. It's running actually really decently here on medium. It didn't feel like it was that hindrance at all. It was pretty good. But the game itself is, it's not amazing. But I feel like in places this game can be fun without cautions and pit stops. I've always felt that way. But, I'm not going to disagree that this is one of the worst NASCAR games of all time. I'm glad iRacing is making the new one. But as you can see, we're just running in a pack at Daytona and everything's going pretty good. The handling is actually fine, not terrible. The AI themselves are not good, but I didn't really notice any real graphical glitches or anything in the short time I played this. On medium graphical settings, it was fine. I think you're okay, especially here at Daytona. If you run medium, I don't think you're going to have any problems in this game, and there's still even a low option I think you could run. You can maneuver around the car with the stick just fine. It doesn't feel like I'm being hindered at all with the power of the Steam Deck. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. Maybe not completely graphically, but just overall, like, this is more than I expected at all. So let's go ahead and move on to Bristol and get started there. So here we are at Bristol. As you can see, looks like it's running just fine. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I go ahead and take the 4 out pretty quickly, but I didn't see any real issues, so I wanted to go ahead and try if we could run this thing on the high setting on the graphics. So I went ahead and did that, and honestly, it worked just fine. Well, at Bristol anyway. You'll see another reason later, but the AI is still a little stupid, so I had to restart a few times. Yeah, I really struggled recording this track because the AI just stinks. Overall, though, I think this handled just fine. There's some minor quirks that the game has itself, obviously, that you're going to deal with. But I think for the Steam Deck, I was awfully surprised that how well this ran. I mean, I feel like I can't even get it to run good on my computer. That's really, really good sometimes. Don't even get me started on the consoles, but this actually seemed playable. Your mileage is going to vary, though. Like, it's going to vary depending on where you race, what you race as, and just all your different difficulties and stuff, especially with graphics, though. That from track to track, you may have to edit it if you do play this game with the Steam Deck. Probably between medium, high, and maybe even low. I haven't really determined that. As you can see, I caused a wreck there, got everyone stopped, and the game is still running perfectly fine. Like, it was honestly a lot better than I thought it was going to be, as we're going to come up on them. And there's not really much, if any, slowdown. Like, I mean, yes, the cars are slowing down, but like I thought the game would just start exploding. But no, it did okay. But speaking of exploding, let's go ahead and head to Watkins Glen with the 2022 update. Now, I left this on high graphic settings, and you're going to notice right off the bat, the game did not like this. Now, it could be the track, it could be the next-gen car update, but it started to stutter and skip, and I was just like, we're just going to put this down to low, and it ran a whole lot better. It wasn't perfect. I did feel like it wasn't... I put it on medium, I'm sorry. I put it to medium, and it wasn't perfect, but it was still very, very, very playable. I felt like it could have been so much worse. But I think the next-gen car itself, too, might have a little to do with that. So, like I said, your mileage is going to vary. But overall, it was okay. It was just fine out on the track here. The AI seems to work best when you're racing on road courses anyway. But I felt like this was pretty good, if not a little easy. But that's just kind of how this game can be sometimes. Its difficulty can really fluctuate, but it's also like that in a lot of other NASCAR games. That's something that a lot of games haven't figured out yet. But overall, I came away from NASCAR 21 Ignition pleasantly surprised. I thought this game wasn't even going to run, let alone on medium or high graphic settings. It completely blew me away. Like, it honestly kind of made the game have fun. Now, this is not a good NASCAR game whatsoever, but I feel like in bits and pieces and small amounts, you can have fun with this. I don't think this would be a terrible game to have on the go with your Steam Deck to play for 5 to 30 minutes at a time. Now, could that change? Yeah, this game feels like you're skating on thin ice, and at any moment you could just break through and just be miserable. But the little bit that I played here was okay. At worst, it runs, and you can do some stuff with it and at least kind of get some basic racing in. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what you can all you can ask for with a handheld Steam Deck or whatever. It's just meant to be played kind of in moderation. This thing doesn't get great battery life to begin with, so you're not like going to be playing it for a long time unless you have it plugged in. Now, I know people are different. I can play my Switch for hours on end, and I think something like that can happen with this for sure. But just know that even for a little bit, it's perfectly acceptable. This game works surprisingly well, and honestly, it wasn't too bad for the little bit that I played it. So, that is the Steam NASCAR games on the Steam Deck. Honestly, this thing, it's pretty darn cool. It's pretty good. These worked a whole lot better than I thought they would. I didn't expect them to handle and play so good, especially NASCAR 21 to begin with. It's a fun little handheld. I know it's a little pricey for a lot of people, and I completely understand that. Like I said, this is the base model, and it's about the price of a Switch. So if that's something you're into and you would like to play NASCAR games on the go and not use a phone or whatever, this is a good way to do that. Especially the newer games, because they seem to run just fine. But that was just the Steam games. We are going to be looking at, next time we talk about the Steam Deck, emulation. And I'm going to try to get most of the games on here, all the way from PlayStation, PS2, Xbox. I don't know if this thing is going to run Xbox 360 or PS3 games very well. I don't think it does. I think the OLED would do that a little bit better, but it's sketch. I've seen a lot of videos where PS3 and Xbox 360 games don't run that amazing on it. So, and it's just down to the emulator itself too. So we'll have to wait and see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you to my channel members. You'll see them right after this. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.